So Yoco was founded in 2013, and it was just a concept of four friends. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I like the fact that you bring up the topic of friendship because that's really where the company came from. So, the relationships preceded the idea. So we're four founders in the company. It's myself, I'm the CEO. This Carl Wazen, who's the chief business officer.
Yeah.
We used to work together at the same consulting firm. Bradley Watrous, who's our CFO, he's also an actuary. And we used to work at the same incubator for German online startups.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, the same. So we used to work at the same German incubator for online startups. And then there's Lungisa, our CTO, known him since childhood. We reconnected at university.
Okay.
He also built one of the world's first mobile voice over IP platforms in early 2006, which is the early days of Skype, pre-smartphone. So really strong team, good relationships. We go way back. And yeah, in 2012, we're looking at lots of different business models. And we kept on circling back to mobile point of sale. We had originally seen it in the US in a couple of instances. But there was a particular scenario where, this African American lady who's running this really beaten down barbecue eatery,
Okay.
with like nothing on the countertop, no till, nothing. And she brings out, this food, and she asked my friend how we wanted to pay by it. And I was completely confused by the question because I just assumed it was a cash-only place.
Okay.
And he said he wanted to pay by a card, so I'm like, okay. She takes out her Android phone and sticks in this dongle, swipes his card, he signs with his finger, and it was just like lights, All of a sudden, small business, good product, nothing much else,
Yeah.
was now sort of formalizing through technology and accessible technology. And, was able to accept a higher basket size, and was running her business through her phone. And so the obsession started there. And yeah, late 2012, we decided to go full on. Next year, we started off in Cape Town. We moved to Johannesburg. We needed to get a license to operate. That took about a year, which was a bit crazy. We were self-funded.
To get the license approved.
Exactly. So that took a year. We were self-funded. It was just an incredible time because, we had to figure out a lot of things about the business. We had to capital raise, but we didn't have an operation. So it really got us into a very deep conceptual space, and that's when the long-term thinking in the company started to develop, and where we really started to understand what we were trying to do. That, beyond just, enabling a business to accept a card payment, and to make that as easy as possible, we were also formalizing a business, and we were creating a digital footprint for them. And through the transaction data, we could start sort of exposing them to new things in terms of how they could run their businesses.
Yeah.
So that was 2013, we got the license, we got our first bit of funding. 2014, we moved back down to Cape Town. We started hiring our initial team, started doing all the technical integration work, building the product, really setting up the operation. And last quarter of that year, we did our first transaction to our first merchant. It went well, we're really pleased. But at that point, we're very much the last movers in the market, right?
Okay.
So in 2013, Nedbank had launched the Pocket Pause. Absa had launched the Absa Pebble. Earlier on in 2014, there was the Coca from Durban. There was, Zip Zap. I mean, we're really
So the competition was really fierce.
Yeah, it was like, it was just, there was a lot of attention to the space.
Okay.
SnapScan, there's lots of stuff going on. But, we looked around and we got to benefit from what we call last mover advantage.
Okay.
And we realized that, we're really in an intimate context with our customers, right? They're using our product to accept money. The product has to work, it has to be reliable, because especially when you're a small business, any lost sale can really impact you.
Yeah.
But now, with digital and the cloud and, all these services that a small company like ours can rent, and use and access to data, all of a sudden the equation for reaching, servicing, targeting smaller businesses starts to make sense.
Yes.
And that's why we exist.